So our today's topic is rotoscoping or masking. But in After Effects there are more options. After Effects is giving us more options to do masking or rotoscopy. So what we are creating with rotoscopy is transparency. So what is transparency is the first question which is coming on rotoscopy. So if I ask the term transparency, what you think transparency is? You can see through, है ना? It's an alpha, okay, opaque. So that is creating transparency. So what rotoscopy actually give us, it's give us an option to animate mask to make it transparent from the background. Okay, so we can cut down the moving object. Before, what we are doing is we are cutting layers in Photoshop, है ना? And cutting the layer in still is very easy, है ना? We can select the tool and make it in inverse and delete it. But in video, because camera is moving, the character is moving, everything is moving, and we again have to mask that thing, and that is where we'll use some more terms with masking, is motion tracking. Okay, so we do this masking in After Effects with two different terms. One is masking freehand and masking with motion tracking. Okay, and there is one another option. There is one another software which is dedicatedly working for masking or rotoscoping, and that is Mocha Pro. Will not go there, but I'll just show you the potential of Mocha Pro. Okay, and also I'll show you one video what Mocha Pro can able to do. It's much better than After Effects, and even now in a current versions of After Effects, After Effects is collaborated with Mocha Pro as an effects. Okay, so now that software is in there in After Effects as an effects. So that is why I want to show you the potential of that software. So first of all, why we need to rotoscope? Why we have to do mask? Do you have any example? Can you able to think why you have to imagine you have to mask this out? Yes. To eliminate unwanted objects. Yes. So what we have to mask is that object unwanted. To remove unwanted object, what you have another thing with you, the clean plate, है ना? The clean plate, so that we can remove that object from a clean, replace it with clean plate. Okay, so second thing what we can do, why we need rotoscopy, to cut out a moving object from a background so that we can place or color correct something foreground and background, or we can place a visual effects graphic behind that cutout rotoscoped subject. Okay, that is where whenever we need some motion graphics to include in video, that is where we need to rotoscope. Or sometime we have to show duplicates, है ना? Then the two characters or two objects come overlap it. Okay, like one Omesh created, that is he did a class on cloning. So what he come up with a one single frame, a person is sitting on a sofa, and same person is moving here and there like a ghost. So he has to cut down the front layer. So that is where the rotoscopy also came. But he did in Final Cut Pro, because right now they don't know how to do in After Effects and all. But it took so much of time because Final Cut Pro have some limitations. But yes, in After Effects there is, this term is very easy. Okay, because this is dedicatedly created. So let's see this whole thing in live examples. How and what are the basic terms to do rotoscope? First of all, to start rotoscope, I just hide few things. So how to create bumps are totally different. That is all on VFX. So I'm not teaching you how to create bumps and all. But what you have to do means you just have to rotoscope this shoe so that it will look like it's behind that shoe. As he pressed that there, then that bump came and he jumped. This is what, this is where we have to do rotoscopy, okay, to include some visual element into the background layer. So what we have to do is we have to cut down, we have to use foreground layer as this person shoe and the background layer the rest of the thing, so that this bump will come behind this object. Okay, that is the only reason we have to do rotoscopes. Okay, to put elements behind foreground. So this is the main reason we are using rotoscopes. So what we have to do, let's so I what I have to do is I have to duplicate this shot again. Okay, and this is what I have to do. I have to put everything on the top layer. Now this layer having a shoe or the runner only. Okay, so now what I'll do, I'll mask this person. So let's imagine this video from where till where we have to mask. Okay, we don't have to mask from starting point to ending point. Okay, where we have to mask, when he reach to this place. Okay, this place, and as soon as, not right now, here now, after crossing this line, because if I off this one, so everything is here, we don't need rotoscope, है ना? So that is what. So let's imagine, and here. Okay, so this is where the shot is entering. So what I'll do, I'll cut this shot. Okay, how I can cut this shot? Before, what we are doing is we are using ins and out, but this time we'll not use in out, because in out will change the duration of this work area also. So what I'll do, I'll first drag and trim this, or I'll use another one, that is split the layer and delete that layer. Okay, so I'll go to edit, and there is a option split layer. Okay, the shortcut is shift command D. We'll use this one, shift command D. So now this I don't need, I'll delete this one, and from here it's coming, and we don't need art after this. Okay, so I'll again shift command and D, and I delete this one also. So I decided the part where we have to rotoscope. Okay, so let's introduce the bumps now. I'll start with first frame. Okay, I'll off these all things. I'll start with the frame. It doesn't matter whether I start from here or here, but what you have to look for is the full position of the shot where everything is visible, and then we'll track back and mask front. Okay, this is what you have to find. You always have to find a better position. So now you can see the shape is changed, and here we can see each and every part. So I will start working from this point. So what I have to do, I have to select mask. So by selecting this layer, I'll on this up, I have to go to pen tool. Okay, so pen tool I will take, and when I select my layer, the pen tool will make a mask. If there is no layer is selected, that will make a shape. So we don't need shape, we need mask. You had practiced this in Photoshop also, so this will not get too much of. So this is what I created. Now at this stage I am not looking for feather and nothing. Okay, I'm just looking for this, tracking this mask. So what I have to do, I have to open this layer, go to mask, and in mask I have to click mask path. So this is the path, the outside, that is what we have to track. Okay, so if I have to track path, so I have to click path time, click the time stopwatch to record the keyframe. Okay, so now first keyframe is recorded. Now I don't need to do multiple keyframes. Okay, to move back and front, which shortcut key we use? To move the playhead back and front, page up and page down. So let's, what, where we have to go, let's start with page down. Okay, so let's start with page down. So down is moving the timeline front and up is moving the timeline back. Okay, so now what I have to do, I have to go one frame back, see everything is looking good. If not, I have to go to selection tool now. Okay, and if I select anywhere else, the shape will go. I again have to select that. Okay, that layer. If I'll press anything, that shape will go. So we don't want to remove that shape. So what I'll do, I'll select one point. Now this shape will remain there. And now I have to adjust where this is going. Okay, I'll again go back. This is looking good, just a bit. So rotoscopy or masking is a very time taking job. You have to be so patient, you have to be so relaxed to make this happen. Then again, if this one, I have to select this, pull here. So now I don't need to work on this one single. I will click shift, select both the points, and then I can move. Okay, this one is also selecting, so I only have to select these two so that I can move the shape here. Now this will test your eyes also. Okay, so now the shape is going to change. So what I will do, I will double click any one point. So now the transform is coming. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll take this anchor point, move it to one point, because the shape is same, just the ankle lift up, है ना? So definitely there is only a rotation is happening, nothing else. So what I did, because what is lift is just back point, front is there, so I just put that anchor point here, and now from a rotation I'll move this up. Okay, so it's better to work like this. Again I press enter, and the bit it's going here and there, that will be cured by individual points. Matching the front toe, again taking anchor point there. So in Final Cut Pro, this mask get changed when you move each and every frame, but in After Effects this will not get affected. So now you can see this is all time taking job, and you have to take your time. So I'll do one side, and then I'll show you ki how I did this. So now you can see some motion blur is there. So we have to also take care of this motion blur. So one thing to shoot in term of shooting the footage is like we have to shoot with a higher shutter speed if we have to rotoscope something. That will give more better results because there will be no motion blur there. So if you are planning a shoot, definitely go with higher shutter speed, and then in post we can create some motion blurs and all. Okay, so now we can see it's moving. So now let's on everything and see. Let's hide. I want to hide this. I'll go to show layer control, or straight away this is the same point. I can click this one and this will show mask or hide mask. So now you can see the foot is there and it's moving. One more thing we'll do, we'll open motion blur to this picture. Okay, and now what I'll do, I'll just go to mask shape and make the feather to 3 or 2 or 1 some pixels. Okay, and we can even mask expense inside and outside also. Okay, so what I do actually, I do -1 and plus feather, so that will contract the mask and feather it, so that will give more better effects. So this is what I always do with mask. I contract the mask and very 1 or 2 pixel and then feather it to 2-3 pixels, so this will give a very smooth transition. So now you can see there is nothing, it's looking like I made a mask. So let's watch this video now. So now you can see it's looking like yes, we did it post. So it's look like the VFX is very believable. So this is one way how we can do the masking or rotoscoping. So if this is one, what is the another way of rotoscoping? Okay, so let's move on to the second topic, that is keyframing, tracking mask in motion. There is also one option in After Effects, that now what we are doing is I am doing each and every keyframe at every step, है ना? Is there any way to work smarter than this? Yes, actually there is a way. But what we have to do, we have to mask and take a tracker and match those two. Okay, we'll take the movement of this foot and we'll take a mask and we'll match these two, so that mask will stick to that tracking point. So this is the basic idea. So let's do one more time. This time I'll hide this one, I'll duplicate this and I delete the mask. Okay, and now I'm deleting this, so I don't have to draw the mask again, so that is why I choose this. Okay, so let's say we draw this mask. Now what we have to do, we have to track this mask. Okay, so let's off the layer, everything. Now if I go to animation, there is an option track mask. Okay, so this is what we have to do. As soon as I click track mask, the tracker will come. Okay, so there are different points which we can track: position and rotation, position, scale and rotation, position, scale, rotation and skew, perspective, where the things are introducing new elements, है ना, like perspective change. So that, or even face tracking is also a one point which we can do. But what we have to do, left and right movement, that is position, maybe scale, maybe it's coming near to the camera or maybe not it's coming near to the camera. And another one is skew, maybe it will rotate like this or up or down, है ना, that is skewing. But if the shoe will move like this, this part of the shoe will come to your camera, that is perspective change, है ना. So we are don't need to do perspective change. Even we can do position and rotation also, but let's start with the skew. So now I selected this. What I have to select? That mask. Now I can track. There are 2 points on the left hand side. Track one frame and track the movement. Okay. And side, track right frame and track the play. Play to track. So what I can do? I can even play and track everything. Okay. Let's make it smaller and let's play this one. So this will track automatically. So now what I have to do? If it's going good, that is good to me, or wherever it's going out, I have to change the settings. Or what I can do is going back wherever I think it's going off. What I'll do? I'll go and adjust that one. Okay, so this is taking some of our burden, that we don't have to do each and every point, but still we have to track, we have to precise our tracking. As soon as I done with this frame, I will again click back. If it's going good, then it's okay. If not going good, definitely we have to adjust. And then again back. So now this is not matching. It's taking the skew. So what we can do, we can go back. Let's take this one here, move it down. So yes, tracking the mask doesn't means कि you don't have to make a keyframes or adjust the mask. Okay, because that is the system generated automatic. So you cannot believe that this will work so well for you. Okay. So now let's go back one more time. Again, I have to adjust. But still it's not giving so much of pain to us. And sometimes you even don't need to work this much. Means this tracking will work so well. We can even play and then see where it's going out, or what we can do is go with a one frame. So wherever I think it's going out, I just adjust that one. So you can see this time it's means automatically taking a that movement. So in rotoscopy, you don't have to focus each and every part. You just have to focus the area where the animation has to come. And this is the area, so I have only have to take care of this area. So let's zoom out. Again, same thing, 3 pixels minus 1 pixels, that is also we have to do. Okay, so this is the second point, how we can do matte track the mask. Is there any other point we can do rotoscopy? Yes, there is third point also. So how? Let's see that one. This time what I'll do, I'll choose another video. Even we can go with this, but let's take some more complex video. So what we want to do here is, again we want to track the mat, or we want to roto this car with a tracking the mask. Okay, so what I did is just showing you one example, and then I'll proceed to third example. Okay, that is, one is masking and keyframing, second is masking and tracking, and third is rotoscoping brush. Okay, that I will introduce now, but just see the second point at this here. Okay, so what I did is, I just masked first frame of the car. Okay, I cut out this car by masking or rotoscoping. Then what I did is I color corrected the previous shot, give a tone, give a blur, and this is the car which I cut out. And then what I did is place the mask and track that mask. Okay, and adjust it wherever it needed. One more thing which I did is, so I made another mask because I was not able to means grab the actual position of the car. So I made another mask, track that one also, and I did this. If I intersect this mask, what it will do? It will take this mask. Better is I have to show. So now you can see if I move here, the extra part is coming, that is not able to track. What I can do, there are so many tracking point I have to do again, so to save time, what I did is I took second, I took it to the point where it's looking out. So here it's looking out, so I just masked. So the color is same, so I go here and then make another color to my mask. Now it's showing red, so now I know which one I have to work. So what I did is I again masked this car. Let's Okay, so now if I add the mask, it will come like this. So what I need is, I need to cut the extra of this mask. So now in front of mask there is a add, subtract. If I go to subtract, what it will do, it will subtract the mask of this portion. Okay, so now if I move this, so it is subtracting the mask. So this is what I used. Okay, I subtracted and then keyframe that mask, and then automatically the shape will come. So sometime we have to add some more mask if there is extra shapes, or we can subtract. So how, this is what I want to show you. You don't have to think about everything to track. Okay, you can even track this point first, the the tires on the alag different mask, this front on a different mask, but on a same layer, multiple mask. So that will create a more complex shape in a better rotoscopy. Okay, you don't need to go everything in one time. Okay, you can only track this area, then you can track this area, you can track this area in different marks, multiple mask will come. Okay, that will make your work more easy. That is why I am showing this one. Okay, let's say this is the extra point it's coming, and I don't want need, I want this. So what I'll do, I'll add another mask, and I can subtract this one also. If I do subtract, so it is subtracting. So now I only have to track this mask, and I don't have to take care of each and every point. So this is how we can add and subtract, okay, the masks. So now let's see what I did. So this is what I did. I just masked this car. Okay. Then I placed a same background behind and I put some effects so that so you can think this as a point कि there is a character and you have to do some color correction on that character which is not standing out from a background. So you can roto that character and making it stand alone from the background and then color correct on it. Okay, so that foreground and background can do something. So I'm just giving you an ideas what is the possibilities of making rotoscopes and masking. So you can see there is no masking on this top, so that is why this is also going blur, you know, because I didn't give so much of time to mask this one, but you can give time so that you can mask these, even this top carriage and all, you know. So the more time you will give, the better mask it will come out. But yes, how you can do, the option I showed you. So this is what I did. I selected the mask, go to tracker and just tracking the motions. Wherever it's going out, I am just adjusting those points, you know, in one go. And even shadow is the part of background also. But if we delete or hide the shot, the shadow will not there. Let's see that one also. Now you can see if I again go to um, composition, add to render queue. This time what I'll choose, I'll go to again 25 frames, that is good, and here I will choose RGB plus alpha and format is animation and it's okay. So you can see some junks are there, you can even clear them. I didn't get so much of time to work on this mask, so that is why it's looking like this. But yes, making some feathers and all, you can work with this kind of mask. But the idea is clear how you can cut out the objects. Now you can place some logo, something, anything inside this. So that is tracking. Okay. So this is what I want to show. Another is the third point. Do we able to do something else with masking? Is there any other option? Yes, there is third option also. Okay, so what I have to do, double click this. Sorry, I have to double click this one. Double click this. Okay, so now there is a third option is on the top toolbar there is a roto brush. Okay, this if I click here there is a roto brush tool and refine edge tool. So before what we are doing is we are creating a mask. Okay, now what I'll do, I just select this object wherever I want to mask, and you can see it's automatically selected. So if I want to include this one, I will select this. If I want to exclude this one, I want to include this. It's selected. It's selected. I want to exclude this. I'll press option and I cut down this. I want to add this. Just add this one. So now what we are doing is we are just selecting as a selection tool. Sometime this work very well, sometime this never works. So that is why I'm showing this in third point. So now I want to scale down the size. I can even press command and then mouse up and down will change my brush size. So I have to minus this, I will select this. Okay, I'll go more closer. So you can see we can go precise also. So now what we did is we just selected the car. Okay, here feather and all still we are able to do, but we just selected a car. Will it work automatically? So now you can see there is this grayish part is created, that is it's only rotoscoping from here to here. Okay, it's not rotoscoping our starting to ending point, but we need that, we need from starting to ending. So what we can do, we can select and drag this to our in point and select and drag to this our out point. So now if I want to see the mask point, I can see the mask shape. I can click here and see the opaque version, the transparency version, or I can see the what it's showing us, means the background and foreground difference. That is called um, this is called transparency level. And the last one, so I will go with red because red will see so easily. So now what I'll do, I'll go back and forth. Okay, if something extra is selected, you have to deselect it. If something is deselected, you have to select it. So you can even see this one. If I cannot zoom, if something is getting out, what you have to do is now at this particular frame, you have to minus this. Just only the part selecting and minusing is only thing left in this kind of rotoscopy. Wherever it go out, you just have to go there and then again select it. Not going out, everything is looking good. Then what you have to do, you have to come to roto brush tool, refining, and here a roto brush mate. Okay, matte. So in matte there is also a feather, so that feather extension, shift edges minus, definitely this is what we are always doing, and we can feather the mask. So it will work on higher resolutions with a sharper edges. uh, on high frame rate taken objects it will work better, the auto rotoscopy, but mask and tracking will work much better than this. But sometime if there is something small part, you have to just roto that one. This is the better way. If I just select this one and take a roto, you know, now 2 3 frames just moving up and making a text moving there, that will be much better than working on the bigger rotos. On bigger, mask is the better option, you know. If just I have to roto this one, it's going easy. Selecting a points is much better in this rotoscopy point. So now even I can, so try this roto brush. I'll show you some examples also in the next class how persons are doing. So the another point which is there is removing or blurring the elements in moving shot. We can even delete, you can even remove the objects by the masking and taking the static image of that. Okay, I will not do this, you have to do this one. So how you have to roto, you have to take a still, this is the static, you have to right click, first of all you have to duplicate this, right click, go to time and freeze frame. Okay, so now this is freezed. So now you can see that is there, but that is not tracked and linked, and you know how to control the camera, solve the camera, and then you have to match this one with the camera solve. Okay, you have to place this, then you have to mask this so that it will stick the horizon line. Okay, then you have to track this mask and cut this mask with this background layer. So now this is the mask and this is the background layer. So what I have to do, I have to track this mask. I'll go to animation, track motion. So this I will split and delete. So now what I have to do, I have to delete this layer from the background. Okay, so I will on this one, this static, this part static image I need. Okay, I off, I off this. So this is static. I will take a mask here at this stage. This is one blank. I will again duplicate it. First of all, have to, there are so many works, so I want you guys to think this everything. Make time and freeze frame. So this is static now. If I make it on, so this is static now. You have to stick it with horizon. Then you have to take this mask, stick that one also. Same, you have to track this blank area, stick with this shot, make a camera solve, then stick here, and then delete these two tracks. And even what you have also do is you have to roto this out so that that truck will go behind that. Okay, this is to be on the top layer, this is to be on the top layer, camera has to be solved, and then this static image, this static image, then you will delete this. So much of work, but try your best. By this is all you have seen me doing, and you have to implement it now. Look at this video.
Mocha AE is a professional motion tracking and masking plugin that is an welcome to Mocha AE 2020. Mocha AE is a professional motion tracking and masking plugin that has been bundled inside of Adobe After Effects for over 10 years. In this video, I'll show you how and why After Effects artists like you rely on Mocha every day for advanced planar tracking, screen inserts, roto masking, and more. Mocha AE was updated in Adobe's October 2019 Creative Cloud release. Mocha AE is applied as a plugin and features a user interface designed specifically for tracking and masking projects. The Mocha AE plugin interface is where you control the data exchange between Mocha and After Effects. You can apply track shapes as masks or tracking data with a single click of a button. And because Mocha AE is a plugin, your footage is read directly from the After Effects timeline, so any clip or movie file that AE can read is easily processed into Mocha. To apply Mocha AE, we can select our layer and either go to the animation menu, Apply Boris Effects Mocha AE, or find the Boris Effects Mocha AE in your effects folder. Apply Mocha AE onto your layer and then check the Launch Mocha button in the plugin interface. Here I am in Essentials mode for the simplest view, but more advanced users might like to switch to the Classic workspace for more options, or even edit and save your own custom view. Mocha is a planar tracker, so let's show you what that means. Let's track this monitor to start. You can choose from X-Spline, Bezier, or geometric shift.
So it just said the word planar tracker. है ना? So what is planar tracking is, will take object as a plane. Okay, that is a flat surface, a moving flat surface. Okay, so what Mocha is doing, it's taking the information of the movement, and then when we are making the mask, it attaching that mask with that movement. So that is how Mocha works. So this is a better way to rotoscope. Okay, if my head is making some movement and I take the information of that movement and then I place the mask and stick that mask with that movement, the mask will stay there. So this is what they are doing in Mocha Pro. So this is why this software is so professional. So what we are doing is we are taking a mask and then matching it all the frames. So they are just taking the data and matching it with the mask.
We will draw a spline around the area that we want to track. Mocha AE's planar tracker is quite famous for its ability to track. Understanding planar tracking is the key to Mocha. You want to look for a texture that moves in a single direction for best results.
Now they are not tracking this, they are tracking this plane. This plane.
Do not try to track multiplanar textures at once, like using one shape for multiple objects at the same time. Use one shape for each moving object you need to track. The spline is the search area, and Mocha will look for this texture pattern on other frames in the shot. You can be fairly loose with a spline because the planar tracker is intelligent enough to discard fast or blurred pixels.
They are taking track of every movement in one go.
Scrub through the timeline and find the largest, sharpest, and most parallel to the camera part of your shot to begin tracking from. Mocha can track various motion types, translation, scale,
this we also saw,
rotation, shear, and perspective. So select the most appropriate tracking setting. If you are tracking to add titles or motion graphics, you might only need translation. Tracking for masking is typically best with everything up to shear. In screen inserts or shots that have significant camera or object motion, we want perspective for full 2.5D match moving. Turn your surface tool on. The surface tool represents the tracking data. This could be corner pin data for a screen insert, or translation data for an After Effects null.
This software is अपने आप में पूरा एक software है. But I just want you guys to see कि rotoscopic best point कहाँ तक है. That is why I chose this video.
You can track forwards or backwards in the timeline. You will often get a great result with the default settings, but if your surface is drifting a lot, you can switch to Classic Workspace and increase the minimum percent of pixels used for more precision. When using Mocha for masking in Roto, first follow the basic tracking steps. However, when creating advanced masking for a person, animal, or organic objects, it is advised to split up layers and track individual planes. This means that people or animals should be handled in a paper doll or marionette approach.
This is at the time of a Final Cut Pro masking. I told you कि we always have to work as in the movements, है ना? This is moving joints, है ना? Joints will work in different motions, so that is what they are doing, है ना? This movement is different, this movement is different.
Split your shapes up at the joints for best results, and each layer will have their own tracker for less manual keyframing. You can track in Roto on the same layer, or use linking to parent any track to any shape layer. In layer properties, you can use the drop-down menu called Link to Track to attach any Roto shape to any track layer. The new shape will now move along with the original tracking layer. After a shape is tracked, we can go through the timeline to add in-between keyframes called tween for more precision. In this manner, we can use the Mocha tracker to reduce the amount of manual keyframes. When we are done, we save and close Mocha.
Because we have to place the image now, and that is not green screen, because the shadow we need them, the glass effect. So that is why we have to rotoscope it, है ना? So sometime you need rotoscoping.
AECC. So let's review the workflow to use our Mocha tracking data. We select the chosen layers to pick which Mocha layer we want to convert to AE, and we choose the layer to create the tracking data from. You can only choose one layer at a time. Then you can see the output of its surface back in the After Effects interface. Each point in the tracking data
Let's
is a copy
move
of
this
other
one
layers or linked via expressions without needing
because
to
we are
export
not
or link.
learning the
Use the
software.
drop-down
Let's
menu, rotation, or your data will be distorted based on the difference. I am using the Mocha AE interface to apply a corner pin that supports motion blur to my screen layer. So I select my export here, a corner pin, and I select my target layer, in this case the layer name screen, and I hit apply tracking data. Now my corner pin is applied right to my screen. So in short, click Create Track Data, select your desired layer, click OK, use the drop-down menu to select and export, and then the target layer, and click Apply Export. Really easy. And applying shapes is just as easy. To apply the Mocha shape data, we have a few options. One, we can convert the Mocha shape to a native AE mask by selecting Create AE Mask. The layer options will determine which Mocha shape layers will get applied. I want to mask out the fingers over the screen, so I choose the masks that apply to the finger roto that I have created by making sure that eye icon is on next to those layers. In this workflow, it is quick and easy to have one Mocha AE project and apply various masks to various AE layers. Anytime you paste shape data, you must make sure that the target layer is the same size as the original footage, comp, and the same frame rate and aspect ratio, or you will not get good results. Another option is to use the Mocha AE plugin to render Mocha shapes back as black and white mattes, or as RGBA cutouts right back here.
So this is what I want to tell. The next topic is creating a track mat. So track mat is same shell outs and stencils which we are using. How we can create those shell outs and stencil is by rotoscoping that and then cutting out as an alpha and luma mat. Okay.
Position.
So I'll
This
show
is
you after
especially
this.
useful if you are using Mocha's variable edge feathering. The View Matte button outputs the black and white matte, and again, the selected
Okay.
Mocha layers drives this. Matte outputs are useful if you want to see any problems with the matte, or if you want to use the output as an AE track matte. Apply Matte will apply the chosen mattes to the cutout of the foreground with an alpha on this layer. The Visible Layers button launches the Visible Layers dialog, so you can select the layers you want to render or convert to shapes. The shape dropdown lets you switch between all visible and all mattes. All visible mattes are controlled by the Visible Layers dialog. The feather option applies a blur to the matte. This feathering is independent of the edge feathering that can be created inside of Mocha. Invert Mask inverts the currently visible mattes. And again, Create AE Mask will convert the Mocha shapes to a native AE spline on this layer. As you can see, Mocha AE provides After Effects users with many options for tracking and masking. If you are looking for more tutorials, please visit the training section at borisfx.com. You can sort the videos by Mocha AE under the product category, but note there are also many Mocha Pro videos that you might find useful for more advanced techniques. For training and for more VFX plugins, visit us at borisfx.com.
So if you want to learn more, that is why I have given. Okay? If you found that rotoscopy is the one which I think is the better option for me, you can go there. Destroy your eyes. Okay, so let's come to our next topic, because this is lead to us to one next topic, that is track mats. So what is track mats? We take the black and white information of any layer and then we cut down another layer by that black and white layer, that is that you know in opacity in Final Cut Pro is stencil alpha and stencil luma, shell outs and stencils. But in After Effects it's track mat. Okay, if I go to this layer panel, there is a track mat, and if I click this, there is alpha mat, alpha inverted mat, luma mat, and luma inverted mat. Okay, so alpha is when there is no background, only the object is there. But if there is a information between black and white, then we have to do Luma, है ना? So let's open another point, how we can create Luma mats. Okay, so I'll create new composition. So what I am creating is this. Okay, so what I am doing is I am taking the information from one layer and matting it to another layer. So what are those layers? First layer is this brush. Okay, so I took this alpha layer brush, and then what I did is layer new text, and I created. Okay, so let's make the size bigger. This, you know what I am doing? Kerning, huh? Okay, so now what I want selection. I want this brush to work as a mate, huh? So whichever we want to work as a mate, we have to put that layer on upper layer. Okay, then on the track mate, because this is alpha, if I click this point, so you can see the brush is alpha, there is no background of this brush. So what I can choose at this spot, alpha or Luma? I have to select Luma. If background is opaque, I have to choose alpha. If, let's say, I'll make a pre-comp, okay, I'll make a pre-comp, and here what I'll do, because this is opaque, okay, so I'll go to layer new and solid, and I choose make comp size, I'll choose black, and I place here, okay, and then on this I will go to effect and preset, go to tint, so that I will make it white, and then I will go to curve and increase the brightness value, and contrast. And now if I come to this comp, this is black and white. So now if I press off, this is black and white. So now what is this? This is Luma. I have to use this white part, not the black part. So what I have to do is now Luma. Okay. So if I'm only using the brush, let's hide this one, delete. Okay. And make it no track. Now this is, let's delete the curve, delete the tip. So now this is alpha. So I have to go to alpha matte. Okay, because there is no background. So if no background, I have to use alpha matte. And then what I did is I went to position and I keyframed just the positions. This first keyframe, what I want on left, then it will totally go opposite here, and so it's showing. Then from another point it has to come. So what I did is I just select that and go to edit and duplicate. Okay, so now both the layer is duplicated. So I select everything and press U so that I know the keyframes. I select these two layers and then move just closer to that keyframe. Okay, why? Because after this I need another movement. Then I go to the point, I put it somewhere else, this one here, and I also need to rotate. Huh, that text doesn't need to move. Okay, this text doesn't need to move, so I will make it. Or even what I want, I cannot means shift this text. I just shift this text, this layer. So I move it up and down, go to rotation, and I rotate it like this. Okay, so now this will go from upside down. If I need faster, I will overlap that. I put another layer, but also I have to duplicate. This time I am using the shortcut command, that is command D. नहीं, क्योंकि इसका लोअर वर्जन को ही वो लूमा करेगा, अगर उसकी मल्टीपल लेयर होंगी तो वो उसको लूमा नहीं करेगा. दैट इज वाई वो नीड ट्रैक एवरी टाइम. Okay, if I just hide this, so this is taking a alpha from the upper layer, this will not take a alpha from every layer, है ना? That is why we have to duplicate the text. Okay, so third time let's again see the keyframes. So this time I need here, and what I want from this side to this side. Okay, like same, like this. So it's going this, you know. So I need this one slower. Let's going this and slow. And then on last what I did is I again duplicated, go to U, again taking it here, and then I made it to center. Go, I went to rotation, make it to 0, scale, and position. So position is here, same, go to end position. I don't want this end position, I deleted this position, so no position control at this point. I deleted text layer. Okay, so now I just go to scale and build this scale. Okay, this is what I want only. So I made it center, shift P, delete this point and delete this point. Went to scale, make it small, keyframe, put it on the start, went back and make it 100 or even 300, 200, whatever. So this is coming late. So just we'll find the place. So what I am doing is I am creating something with Luma Mats and Alpha Mats. So that is how we can use the opacity and the color information, black and white information, and convert it to mats and create some effects. Okay. So this we also learn in Final Cut Pro, but in After Effects it's more valuable and very fast we can do these all things. Okay. So logo making can be done by shapes, by patterns, है ना? You can take a shape and make it as a track mat and move that shape on here and there, and you can create the logos. That is how the logos are made. So this is it for today's class. So I'll stop this one here.